I'd like to ask the panel, the question is, I talked about the mindset, the curiosity, the problem solving, seeking diverse perspectives, embracing change. When you think about your own journey as an innovator, are there one of those characteristics that really stand out that you needed to embrace or emulate, or maybe you have one that was completely different that you'd like to mention? Let's start with you, Michelle.
The problem became my passion. I think that's a big part of it, is that if you're solving a problem that you're not passionate about, you may not have the grit to get through every day of the innovation process, because it takes a ton of grit.
So for me, solving problems was really at the core of it, was solving problems that was bringing value to the customer. And in order to determine how important that problem was to the person that you were trying to solve it for, it was very important to get their perspective. So including the voice of the customer, so to speak, to ensure that you're on the right track with what you're trying to do, and also to get a different perspective.
How about you, Silvana? Well, I know we talked a lot about pivot during the pandemic. In particular, I think we faced a challenging moment as a operating healthcare system. We're an outpatient healthcare system. And now, over the course of, it's now been 3 years since that time, I would say, to be honest with you, although the pandemic was tragic in so many ways, it was a real game changer for our company. We're now a household name in one of the biggest cities in the world. And so I think really listening to what was happening and really trying to be creative about the resources that we had that can contribute to this public health crisis ended up really serving us well.
I think it also would be helpful for you to share your story. When you started with Prava, it was less about your gender, but more about your background and whether you could actually even found a healthcare company as an attorney. Maybe you can tell a little bit about that story and how you had to overcome a lack of confidence even in your background.
Sure. The way that I solved for that was becoming an expert in what I was trying to do, and also surrounding myself with people who had knowledge in all the areas that I didn't. I was never going to be able to get an MD, in the amount of time it needed to take for me to start my company. I think the other aspect of my challenge was that I moved to Bangladesh for the first time at the age of 37 without having ever lived there before. I individually had no professional reputation or identity and was wildly underestimated. But I think as a woman, generally, we're often underestimated. And I actually think that works to our advantage, because then we can only exceed people's expectations.
And I just like to share that point, because for those of you who are in the room today, you may have an idea, but you might not think that you have all of the capabilities or the competencies to develop that idea. So don't be thwarted. You need to become the expert of something you're passionate about, and then you need to identify through your network the resources, the contacts, and the advisors and the collaborators that can help you actually develop it. So you definitely do have to have resilience and determination and network in order to get things done.